What's going on, guys? No guys here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to analyze or talk over a gameplay. I took some inspiration from JGod Gaming, so if you guys know who he is, he's a COD streamer, and he does this spectating random players. Now I'm trying to learn to get better at COD on a higher level, so I've been watching his videos and I thought this is actually a really good idea, so shout out to him if he's ever watching, and I got the idea of course from him, so credit where credit's due. We got two players on the screen. We have the player in blue, which is the red one. So the red marker basically corresponds, of course, to that controller, and the blue player, which is the player in white, it corresponds to that controller. So whatever buttons they're pressing, you can see that. I'm not going to stop and start it too much because I want it to kind of flow naturally. But we're going to focus mainly on, so one of these players is 13-2 at the point of this game, and he finished on 26 wins and 4 losses overall. And the second player is someone who's 16-6. And he's got 7, and he finishes on 17 wins. So I want you just to guess which one is which. Let me know who you think is who. I'll let you know who it is at the end, but just in case you're wondering, let me know in the comments down below who you think is what player. We're going to be focusing mainly on just mistakes that a lot of players make. I wanted to talk through some of the things that have been done, that players are doing. And it was a really nice through ball there actually. And in all honesty, in those situations, my best advice is when you get the ball in these situations, do not do a ball roll. The best thing for you to do here is to do a fake shot, because the ball roll takes the ball away and you don't beat the goalkeeper. If you do a fake shot here, you beat the goalkeeper, and that's why I use a fake shot over the ball roll. And as you can see, like from those angles, when it cuts back into the middle, it's almost next to impossible. That's why, I disagree with a lot of top tier players. I used to use the ball in all honesty, but once I found out that the ball is still a viable option, but sometimes the goalkeeper glitches and he takes the ball away from you. When you do a fake shot, you almost guarantee you get past the goalkeeper, and you create the angle and you beat the goalkeeper. So you kind of kill like 3 birds with one stone. Nice, that's his dribbling over there. But you kind of killed 3 birds with one stone, and that's why you probably see that every single time on a 1v1 situation, or I get into a wing position, or even inside the box, you see that I always pierce through, because I always use the fake shot as opposed to the ball roll. So I actually disagree with most of the players in the community. I prefer to use the fake shot. I think it's better, and that's kind of my opinion. Nice. Do a fake shot stop or Lakuketa there. Like, that's actually a really, really good goal. There's 2 things you can do. That's the benefit of having someone with a 5-star weak foot in these situations over here, is that when you get the ball over here, you have 2 options. So you can of course do a fake shot stop on the spot, and then do, like, for example, a lofted pass, which is a double X pass. You can do that, or you can take a shot across goal. He's going for the more unorthodox approach of going to do the ball roll and then going near post. Near post actually very, very viable. I think maybe, I would say 60% of my goals, maybe 70% are near post. Just because most people, they always cover the inside angle, and obviously if you go the opposite angle, they never think they think to defend that way, but they don't really concentrate on it too much. So that's why going the opposite way, going towards the near post angle, a lot of the time is really, really beneficial. It's a nice try, nice lofted through ball. They do sometimes do work, those lofted through balls, but it's all about timing. And as you can see, good tracking back there from the player in red. Nice defending, aggressive when you need to. Ball going forward, nice L1 trigger, and you can see, for example, the player in red, he's actively using the L1 triggers, doing 1-2s. That's something that's very, very important. You can always go back and watch when they build up. The player in blue, he's not doing it enough in my opinion, but he's always trying to do 1-2s, trying to make passes backwards, because every single time you do a 1-2, let's say for example with this player, you do a 1-2, then when he makes the pass, this player of course will run forward, and then that way the pass can be made to the striker again. So like you can see over here, see he's doing a 1-2s, and of course wasn't the best of passing, but you can see that these players are making runs going forward. Not the best of passing, bit of a risky pass there. Nice 1-2, Mbappe making that running behind. That was a very risky pass in all honesty. Nice right stick switching. See how he right stick switched to Roberto Carlos there? That is one thing that I think a lot of lower tiers struggle with, is that when they're defending, they always forget, like whenever the ball gets played down the wing, you have to right stick switch. If your CDM is too far away and you can't recover, you have to right stick switch. Let's see how he's defending with his CDM. Bit of a risky one. And as a penalty, he shouldn't have even made the tackle there in all honesty. I don't know why he did it. He should have just literally held the running jockey. I mean, Renato Sanchez was through, yes, but there was no need to do this tackle in my opinion. At this point, all he has to do at this point here, just hold the running jockey at this point, because he doesn't know what Renato Sanchez is going to do. But going here and making a tackle, especially if you're not 100% sure, I mean, I can understand why he did it, because this is the thing. Never assume you can win the ball when the ball is going towards the player. Never assume that. Let your opponent get the ball first and then react. That's the best advice I can give you. In that situation, you should have held the L2 and the R2 button and stopped it from going centrally. And then this is another common mistake that I see, is too many players are too obsessed with trying to get the ball back. Is getting the ball important? Yes, but you need to defend the angle first. If you try to get the ball and you miss, then most of the time you're probably going to just give it away. You know, you're probably just going to most of the time let your opponent get the ball and do a skill move past you because you're not there. At least if you're able to react thereafter, at least then you can think, okay, what's my opponent doing? I'm not too sure, but at least I can react. It's better than going out of the way. Nice defending over there. As you can see, he was kind of defending the middle angle. Another thing you can do there is teammate contain. So you can manually select a player in the middle and use teammate contain. See, I would have done a 1-2 there with Rooney backwards. See, I would have done a 1-2. See, I would have done a 1-2 backwards as opposed to my centre mid. The reason why I say do a 1-2 backwards to your left back is if you pass the ball, and let's say you do a 1-2 from, let's say you do a 1-2 from the striker to your cam. That means your cam can no longer run forward. But if you do a 1-2 to your left back, then you have these two players running in behind. So you've got more attacking players going forward by doing a 1-2 to a more defensive position. See again, nice right stick switching. You see how he read that Roberto Carlos? You see how he right stick switched to Roberto Carlos? Read the danger. It wasn't a good pass though, in all fairness. But that's an example of player blue. And you can see that the player in white, you can see one thing that he's struggling with is kind of holding the ball. I do think he's panicking a little bit at the time. That was nice over there. Ronaldo. Okay, so you can actually see another example from the player in blue. Maybe, again, maybe a lack of concentration, maybe. I'm not too sure. You see in this situation over here, when your opponent has the ball over here, my opinion is you hold the run and jockey. As soon as you see it do a fake shot stop, and you line up with them. You line up so you're here, that way you prevent the cutback. This way that guy can't do a fake shot downwards or a skill move. Because he didn't do that, that pass was free. The issue after that is that he then assumes he can get the ball. Whenever a pass like this is being made, never ever ever think you can intercept the ball and get there. Unless you're here already, do not think you can run and get the ball. Your best bet is to hold the run and jockey, go up towards him, let him make a choice, and then match up against him. Again, someone's got a 5-star weak foot. Someone had like a 4-star weak foot here. Let's say this is Mbappe. I would commit, maybe overcommit on the right hand side just to force him to go on his weaker foot. But in this situation, you cannot guess. You can see like he tried to get the ball, and then as you can see, the ball went to Neymar and he got turned. This is a big common misconception, should I say, amongst lower tier players. If in theory, let's just put it at the bottom of the screen not to distract you too much. But if a pass is made from player A to player B, if you're over here and you're defending, unless you're over here, you go like this in front of player B to cut the passing lane. If the pass has already been made, you just run back. Do not try to cut. If the pass animation has already been made, do not try to cut it out. Just run back. A lot of players, they're too busy trying to cut this passing lane, and the ball goes to player B, takes a touch away, and there's a free shot towards goal. You need to always make sure you're defending where the ball is eventually going to be. That was nice skill moves from the opponent over there. You have to always make sure that you let... I know people are going to say, okay, look, if I let him get the ball, then he's going to get past me. Okay, fine. But you got a better chance of defending. And this is why if you remember my old school ways of defending, it's better for your opponent to get the ball, use the run and jockey, and at least have him challenge you. By you trying to get the ball, that was a nice situation. I think that was a bit of an unlucky situation, actually, to be honest. In terms of this one over here, I think it's not a bad option, by the way. Nice through ball over there. He shouldn't have... That was a nice skill move here. I don't know why he held the bridge. I have no idea why he did it direction nutmeg here. I would have, personally speaking, my guaranteed goal from this situation is go like this and do a fake shot either way. Normally I go like that, fake shot like that, and shoot like that, because most players, top tier players, move their goalkeeper the opposite side. So I normally do that. Don't know why he did the bridge there. He's wasted opportunity. Whenever you get the ball here, let go of the run button. If you've beaten this guy and he's behind you, you let go of the run button here. And as you can see there, he did a ball away, which is actually not that bad of an idea. Defender was in the way. Varane didn't foul him. Well, technically he did, but it didn't register as a foul. And as you can see, the follow through when Mbappe was already down, he was fouled by the goalkeeper. So it was kind of like, you can argue, the game screwing someone over. I mean, this is what people like to call scripting. That's what I like to call a bad programming of the game. For example, Varane should have given the foul away. He didn't necessarily, so he's gone towards the bottom right. I was good save in all fairness, but you can see, for example, a typical situation. Again, another situation as well. So this is what I meant by the player in white not controlling the ball very, very well. When you're in these situations and there's someone alongside you, do not think you can dribble past, because you'll always cut you off and always get the ball away. The safest thing to do here is go down the line, do a ball roll away, and then go backwards. Don't try to dribble or weasel. You can see like he tried to weasel his way out of opportunity, and then when he got through, he took a touch into him. The best advice I can give you for left, this is one thing that people always ask me, left-stick dribbling. How am I so good at left-stick dribbling? For me personally, I mean, don't forget, I've been doing this for like 20 years plus, so obviously it's taken me some time to master it, right? But left-stick dribbling, obviously you can't see it in this one, but if for example you're the player in red, the player in blue would be a white cursor. And that was just bad defending, to be honest. The player in blue would be a white cursor. Wherever the white cursor is, you move your left analog stick away. So if, for example, you have the ball over here, and let's say the goal is over here, if your opponent is running towards you, you take a touch away. This is the biggest misconception. A lot of players, they try to take a touch away into the angle where they're facing. If you want a left stick dribble, you take a touch away. Always take a touch away. Left stick dribbling is not used. It's going to sound crazy, but left stick dribbling is not used to beat your opponent. It's used to move the ball away, to evade your opponent. It's the biggest misconception as well. People think left stick dribbling is used to beat players. People ask, well, how do people do it on a high level? Well, they do shimmies. They kind of fake one way and then they go the other way. That's how players beat each other with left analog. Sorry, if you watch me play with left analog stick, if for example there was a player over here, I wouldn't try to beat him directly. I'd for example go that way, then turn away quickly. Hopefully he will commit, and then I'll go back inwards. So left stick dribbling itself is not used to actually beat someone. It's actually used to evade someone. You can see, for example, here the player in red, very, very composed on the ball. You see he's not rushing. I don't know what on earth that was, though, to be honest. But you can see, for example, the difference. You see the player in blue, every time he gets the ball, he always has a sense of panic. He's not comfortable with the ball, and you can see that. The best skill move to use a ball roll if your opponent's coming close. But you can see when the player in blue, when he has the ball, he kind of panics. Not unlikely with that situation over there. We'll probably learn a fake shot there. But you can see when the player in red has the ball, he's a bit more progressive, but he doesn't make the riskiest pass. He does make risk, but that's a nice through ball over there. Keep running. Now let go of the run button. Okay, that was a really, really nice play. It looked like that was a bit of agile. That's not an example of, using deception. Pretending to go one way, then go the other way. Of course, benefit of Neymar. Pretending he was going to cut inside to Pele. Then he goes near post, and then he goes outside again. Now, you see why this worked very, very well is, if you remember, his first goal, he went near post, and then he shot, and then he scored. So this way he does a La Croqueta. He goes to that side, and then he turns back inwards, and that's what triggers this player to make a move. So was this bad defending? I think so. And people are going to say no. But in my opinion, when you're defending, your job is to hold the line and block the angle towards goal. He falls for it, the La Croqueta. He doesn't need to fall for it, because then he can wait for the opponent to make a touch after and then decide where to go. But you can see he falls for it. He gets beaten. He goes opposite way. That's the key thing. Same thing with left analog stick dribbling. If you fake one way, then go the other way, that's how you beat someone. That's one thing as well. You see, earlier on in the game, he went to the near post angle. This way, he pretended to go to the near post angle by doing a La Croqueta, and then use the left analog stick to go the opposite way. When you see me, don't forget I do stream on twitch.tv/NoGuides if you want to see me when I stream, how I do play. You can see that I do that with the left analog stick. Fake one way, then go the other way. So it is another variation of what you can do. But again, that's something that's looked on the higher level. But let me know, as I said, down below which player you think is which. I think around 70 minutes, I think, because I've briefly seen this game before, because I had to figure out what game I wanted to show you. And that was bad defending, but then that was a really, really good goal. I'll show you 70 minutes, I'll tell you who's who, but again, let me know down below in the description. Here, in all honesty, I would always do a 1-2 backwards as opposed to forwards. A bit of a risky pass in all honesty, but you can see bad defending for Varane. He overcommitted. Now Varane is running backwards. You can see the exact same thing again. He presumed where he was going to go, and opponents did, for example, the ball around. Then he wasn't sure what to do, so you hold the L2 button. So you held the L2 button, and he did a fake shot, and that way he did that movement, and he made the pass to Rooney, and it was a really, really good goal. You can also do the fake shot stop there just to keep things a bit more simple. You don't have to do, for example, that LT or the L2 button and the fake shot. So you can just keep things very, very simple there. But you can see that's an example of obviously being patient, and as you see, just bad defending. You can see the player in white. You see how he's running out, and maybe now you can probably see who's the lower tier player now, and you can see the exact same thing you tried to guess. It was a bad finish, a bit of an unlucky situation because Neymar has a 5-star weak foot. He should, in theory, be shooting that on his weak foot. He should have also moved the goalkeeper there, and that is basically game over. So the player in blue, in all honesty, is the player that's 16 and 6. Sorry, the player in blue is 13 and 2, should I say. So that's the red marker of this guy is 13 and 2. So he ended up finishing on 26 and 4 overall. And the player in white, well, the player in blue, should I say, he was 16 and 6 at this point, and he finished on 17 wins. I don't know what the exact record was. I think he just stopped at 17 wins. One thing I'd say here is move the goalkeeper towards the near post angle. That way, when the ball comes into this region, the goalkeeper would have been here to punch the ball out, and that would have avoided a situation over here. It was a bit of an unlucky situation that the ball went to the player, and Tavernier scored a very, very easy goal. But of course, the important thing is move the goalkeeper to stop the prerequisite, stop the danger from getting into that position in the first place, and you should be fine. So this is when the player in white should be looking towards to go to more of a pressing game. I would say when you're at this situation, this is where you'd have to use team press or constant pressure, because your opponent has the ball. You got to play more of an offensive formation. Nice, do a pass there. I would done a 1-2 backwards there. See, he just did a regular pass. Now Ronaldo's not making a run. If he did a 1-2 there, Ronaldo could have made a run, and he could have made a through ball. So say like here, again another simple mistake. If this was a 1-2. Ronaldo would have made that run. Then you could have ran down the line, then done a through ball eventually to Ronaldo. So you could have done that instead. But because he didn't do that 1 to Ronaldo, even if you're going to switch the ball, let Ronaldo make a run. Ronaldo would have been here by now. It creates more chances, and that was that's one of those through ball abuses that you've probably seen. Pass down the middle. I don't know why I even did that. I probably would have taken a touch first, but you can see, as I said, you can see the difference in skill gap. You see, now he's panicking a little bit. Now he has to be aggressive now, don't forget. So obviously mistakes will of course leak in through. It's the job of the player in red just to hold the ball. He doesn't even need to go forward, in all honesty. You can just hold the ball. And as you see, bad defending. And again, another situation where he should have done the fake shot. Here, like again, he's in a situation again. And over here, when he has the ball, you have two options here. Either you shoot towards goal over here, or you sweat it. You can shoot across, but here, the simplest thing here, just do a fake shot. Fake shot down, you'll beat the goalkeeper every single time, because that's how I score my one-on-ones. But don't try to do a ball roll in these situations. It will never work. Only if you're directly in front of the goal and you're going like that, then you can ball roll around them. But if you're running at an angle, if you do a ball roll away, the goalkeeper is just going to curve the run like that, and they're still going to stop it either way. So it's kind of pointless doing that in those situations. Again, shouldn't move the goalkeeper. To see the player in white, so the player in white now has got the ball. So I'll be spamming L1 button here. I'm not sure if to go do a fake shot stop, do a 1-2 backwards to your defensive player. See, again, he wasted a chance. You see, in another situation where you wasted it, you can see, for example, the difference now in caliber of players. Like here, he's not sure. He's got no one with him. Kante, your CDM, he's not even in the best of positions. Now, I wouldn't have made this pass. I would have probably just gone like that, ball roll, and then made a through ball. But here, just do a 1-2, then do a 1-2 like that, and then do a 1-2 backwards. Allow all those players to make a runs going forward. Even if he does go through here, he's got essentially no one with him. It's a waste of opportunity. It looks like that player is through, but Kante with the ball, he's not really going anywhere. Let's see over here. The player in blue's got players on, player in red, so he's got players on stay forward. A bit of a risky one. Nice L1 trigger over there. Quick 1-2 back to Renato Sanchez. See, I would have done a 1-2 back. You see that? You see how you see like there he's, I mean, it was a really nice situation, yeah, and he got through. But had this player in white been a better player, here, just keep it simple. Here, you're in a situation, if you want to beat this guy, the simplest thing to do is do a 1-2. That way you'll engage this player to make a run going forward, and then you can make a through ball. Then that means you have to put this random guy in a decision. Does he either A, go to Renato Sanchez, or does he track Pele? Either way, it will give you space to run forward with Renato Sanchez. Don't forget you're wasting time. He tries to out dribble and maneuver his opponent over here. Maybe because he's confident that he's won the game. Maybe because I do the same thing in all honesty. But he should have done that instead. If you're watching this and you're maybe learning to get better, Don't try to weasel your way. The simplest thing to beat constant pressure is to do a 1-2 backwards. Like see like here, do a 1-2 like that. But you shouldn't have one. See like how he did that 1-2 anyway to Neymar. But you see how he forced the defender in a defensive position. It wasn't the best person to do a 1-2 toward. You should have done it, for example, towards the CDM. So here, for example, the best thing to do again is to use a right stick switch, get Neymar over here, and that way you get the ball in a safer situation as opposed to here where your opponent could win the ball and take the ball off you. But I think at this point, at 80 minutes, you know, realistically speaking, when you're two goals ahead, you can afford to kind of mess around a little bit. You're very, very comfortable. You're not kind of taking a risk. And you can see he's playing, I think, a 4-4-2. Fullbacks are enjoying the overlap. It's not the best formation to use. Better off using my blitz formation or using even a 5 or 3-5-2 formation. I mean, having a 4-4-2 with left back and right back overlap is honestly an absolute waste of time. The left mids, right mids, left back, right backs are in the same position. Let's see what happens over here. Right Tavernier. But again, a bit of an unlucky situation. Press. Kind of got a bit lucky there with team press. As you can see, look, he keeps losing the ball because he's trying to walk the ball into the opponent. You see, you got to walk the ball away. That was a nice skill move though now. Fake shot. And I'll be honest, I didn't expect that in all honesty. But you can see, for example, over here, I don't want the video to go too long because we're kind of going a bit over. But you can see, for example, at this situation over here, do you see when he gets the ball over here? That was nice. This is all fine. This is all fine. Okay, he makes this pass here. He should have done a fake shot into the space. Left foot Ronaldo Sanchez. He would have scored. He didn't do that. He ended up doing a lofted pass. I understand why he did it, but he didn't need to realistically do a lofted pass there. Some a regular pass would have been fine. You can see when he wins the ball back over here. Here, take a touch away, and you can see this is the biggest misconception. He's trying to walk into the space. If you want to do this, just turn the ball around and pass the ball away, and then make the kite pass or the diamond pass. But do not try to walk yourself into your opponent. You can see he lost the ball. He gets the ball over here. And this is a really, really nice skill move he used, for example, to stop and go. And he was inside. And I'll be honest, the chance of these going in are very, very low. It's kind of a bit like a pop shot. Rarely these chances do go in. If I was going to score this myself, I would jog towards him, force a 1v1 situation, and then I'll go fake shot there and then take a shot. Mbappe hasn't got the best of weak foot. I don't care what anyone else. People are going to say, oh, Mbappe is good. Mbappe's not good in striker. Maybe he's good for you against someone. If you're facing a gold 3 player, doesn't know what they're doing, with all due respect, maybe Mbappe is good. But if you use Mbappe on a high tier level, gold Mbappe, he's not good enough. Maybe record breaker is fine. But gold Mbappe, his left foot's not good enough. It's not like Ronaldo. People asked me in the last video, why is Ronaldo better than Mbappe? Because Ronaldo's got good shot power. He's got shot power behind his weak foot. So when he takes a shot going forward, it's a bit of a different situation. Whereas Mbappe hasn't got the best of left foot. So when he does take a shot, it hasn't got enough power and it can't go in most of the time. You can see, for example, like here now, it's the player in blue for him to go forward. Bit of an unlucky situation. Again, what could he have done over here, realistically speaking? He could have got the ball back over here, that's fine. He had to make the pass, I understand that. But here, this touch was wrong. He shouldn't have taken a touch downwards. If you're watching this now, where would you take a touch? The safest thing to take a touch is away. He knows there's a player here, here. Just take a touch over there, away into the space, and then go around. Too many players are trying to beat your opponent with a touch. In FIFA 20, you could have done that. This FIFA you can't, so you wasted a chance of going forward there. Now the opponent has the ball, he has to hold the ball now. Do a 1-2 back to the right back. I don't know if I can see it just briefly. He's not doing that 1-2. Well, there's players there. That was the right thing to do. Basically what he did is, in this situation over here, he wasn't too sure what to do. If you're really not too sure, just smack the ball out. Don't take a risk. But you can see what he did is he triggered. So you watch it like this. What he did is he triggered Pele to make a run going forward. You see that? He pressed the L1 button. You see that? On the bottom right. Trying to stop at the exact keyframe. So then Pele makes a run going forward, and then he tries to make a through ball into that area. In my opinion, I think that's a really, really good opportunity. In my opinion, what you should have done there is it's curved a bit like that and done a through ball on the ground. I wouldn't have done a lofted one. As you can see, I think he took too long and it was too easy for your opponent to read. Again, this of course comes on a higher tier level, but that's a good situation. They did the L1 trigger. Again, it's in the play going forward. Now he literally has to go back to the goalkeeper and just kick the ball out of play now, or kick the ball going forward. Because after it's 1 minute, normally when you get the ball out of play, you can see it's the end of the game. Now, maybe this game helped you, maybe it didn't. Let me know if it did, and I'll continue making these. But you can see, for example, what I always say to everyone, it's the smallest things. The reason why I play FIFA the way that I do is kind of like a deliberate thing. I remove dragbacks from my game and certain things as well to keep things very, very simple. Is just to show you that you can play FIFA and win by playing base. You don't have to abuse mechanics. I know there's other YouTubers out there that are saying you need to abuse mechanics, and fair play. If you want to go pro, then go ahead. But if you just want to play and you want to play like me and you still want to get high ranking, I can still get a very, very high ranking just by, I could even probably compete. I won't lie. Maybe I won't win. Okay, I probably will lose every single game because obviously at that level you have to abuse mechanics. But if you're not competing and you just want to play the game, you don't have to use all these skill moves. Just keep things very, very simple. Simple left stick dribbling. And the player, in the end, as I said, the player that was the player in blue, should I say, ended up being 13-2. Let's have a double check. I think it was. I chose one of the. I think I chose him. I went to the rest of the world, and I think I went to the bottom, and I chose one of these players. I'm not too sure which. I have to find him now. Or someone from the rest of the world. The reason why it would have been a lower tier player. I can't really find him again, but anyway, the player which was in blue, should I say, he ended up being 16-6 with 17 wins, and the player in red, who was the blue kit, which was the one that was a bit confusing, he actually ended up on 26-4. So a very, very good player, a very, very skilled player. But you can see, for example, in that situation, how he could have lost the game. Now, obviously, there's things to take into account. It's not like other games. In this game, you're playing 30 games in 1 week. You can't play that game for a high level. But that's something just to bear in mind. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a long one, but one that I wanted to go through. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content. And again, let me know if you want to see any other players, any top tier players. Maybe we should look at, for example, some of these top tier pro players and look at their gameplay. The reason I don't try to focus on top tier players is a lot of players, they try to learn from top tier players, but they're doing things on a very, it's not like COD where you can just simply say he went this way or he reloaded or he did like a double jump or whatever. Some things are done on such a high level, they're so hard to explain that if a lower tier player tries to use teammate contain and create like a simple like a double press, it's hard for people to explain, like running out with centre backs. A lot of lower tier players, they see top tier players running out with their centre back, but they don't know that they got this player to recover and they're using teammate contain. So those things to remember. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.